Hi and welcome. My name is Marnie Swedberg. I'm here to do a program with you called How to Pre-Record a Hit Session. So HIT stands for High Intensity Training, but it also stands for Let's Make This a Hit. Let's make it a really popular video that people want to watch again, want to share, want to remember. And that's my heart for your programs. Before we get going, if you would write into the chat there, write your name and where you're from, your state or your country. I am again Marnie Swedberg, and I have lived in Minnesota my whole life until 5 years ago, at which point God blessed me beyond measure. I now live in Florida, and I am so loving it. I'm living just 20 minutes from our daughter and our grandbabies, and so I am so excited to come to you from Florida. During this program, I'm going to take you through the 5 things that are going to make sure that you have a hit program. So first of all, you're going to want it to be fun. You're going to want it to be engaging. You're going to want it to be practical. You want it to be memorable, and you want it to be functional. So here we go. I'm going to start with the fun part, and we're going to do how to make it a hit session. So instead of just a session where you sit and you boringly explain something to your audience, and yeah, people might watch it if it's such high value, people might watch it. But the reality is, if you can add these components that I'm going to train you in right now, it's going to be an amazing session that people will remember and actually apply, which is what you really want. So the first one is fun. How are you going to add fun to your session? One of the things I did it right at the beginning was I started interacting with you, right? Put your name and your location in the chat box, something that gets your audience into it. And I'm kind of just an outgoing personality, so I do a lot of smiling. I do a lot of just kind of laughing as I go along. That's kind of how I make it fun. Other people have different ways that they do it. Some people bring props on and do kind of visuals. Sometimes I do that too. Whatever it is that you can do to make your program fun, that is going to help a lot. So right now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go ahead and say, would you rather do a video program like this with a presentation only, like this screen right here does not show my head, presentation only, or would you like to do it with a video and your head like I'm doing today? So my preference is always to do part me, part screen. And you can also, with Streamyard, you can make the screen really big, or even just like this, or you can have it be half and half. So how would you like to do yours? Just go ahead and put your answer in. Again, when you have interactive questions, it makes it fun for the attendees. So be sure to include something that makes your program fun. Don't have it just be boring. Even if the topic is kind of boring, just go ahead and add some fun to it. The next component then is have it be engaging. I was really excited when I came upon this engagement picture because the word engaging is so important to make sure that you're focusing on that as you're doing your training, as you're presenting it, as you're preparing it. How are you going to get your audience to move from I'm thinking about doing something, I'm curious what you're going to tell me, to I am committed, I am all in, I am going to do this? And engagement means I'm committed. And I want you guys, as you are planning and preparing and presenting, to keep thinking about your audience and how are you going to get them to decide, to commit, to succeed. And one of the things I just love about doing programs like this is it takes you from where you are when you came into the program to a different level of expertise or a different level of knowledge or understanding or commitment when you leave. As you think of that engagement ring, then you're going to have the opportunity to move your audience forward if you give them enough information to help them know that they want to do this. The program that I'm sharing with you right now is how to plan and produce a hit session. So instead of just producing a video, I want to get you committed, engaged in the idea, the concept that you too can make a video recording that is going to just really rock. And that's my heart for you. So I want to just go through this real quick. Using the HIT system that I'm training you here, you will discover how to gain the trust and focus of your audience, which is the first step that you need. Then you'll be able to improve the lives of your audience by what you're training, and you'll make connections that last far beyond the program. I really love the first one is the basic requirement, but the bottom two are the two that really motivate me. I want to improve your life. I want to improve your ministry. I want to improve your reach. I want to make it possible for you to get out there in front of more people. And I want to be your friend forever, literally forever. So that's kind of what when I think about this training or any training that you ever give, like at a summit or as an ever webinar or whatever, give it in such a way that you really get the engagement of your audience. The third one then is it has to be practical. If somebody can't follow what to do, if it's just words, it doesn't stick, right? It has to be practical. It doesn't always have to be steps, but it has to be practical. Having said that, I want you to know that a lot of my programs that I do, especially my keynotes, a lot of the keynotes that I give are not highly practical in that I don't give steps and plans like this. This particular point here is more for a training program, which is what we're talking about, a high intensity training. When you're giving a program where someone comes in not knowing how to do something, expecting to know how to do it when they leave, you have to give them practical steps. When you're giving a keynote presentation, you can give them practical steps, but they don't have pen and paper typically. They are not taking notes. They're there to absorb a content, absorb a perspective, absorb a mental shift, absorb a transformative aha idea. And so when you're giving a keynote, it is different. You still want to be fun. You still want to be engaging. You still want to be actionable, but not like in a HIIT training. In a high intensity training, you absolutely have to give them steps. So let's just review what my steps for you are here. And I'm going to just pull up this next slide. So we started with fun, fun, fun. Make sure to have it be fun. The next one was have it be engaging. They need to actually buy in. By the end of the program, they need to be bought in to this idea. It needs to be practical, to have steps like what we're talking about right now. It needs to be memorable. And then they have to know how to do it, the function of it. So as you're going through your program, just keep these things in mind, and you'll be able to have a really good program that isn't only fun to attend, but they'll be able to take it forward with them. And they're going to have a hard time actually to forget it. You may not remember the exact steps that I give you here, but you'll remember the gist of those steps and where those steps take you. And you'll remember this program because it's a little different than any other program you've had about presentations. The last one then is that it is memorable. And this is so important. One of the best ways to make a presentation of any kind, especially a keynote, but any kind of presentation to make it memorable is to have a picture or a story that's highly memorable. I love this picture because as soon as I thought it, I was like, what? How good? It looks like that ship is going to run right over that little tiny dock there. And how do the people get on and off the ship? I mean, it's just so incongruous that I thought that's the picture I wanted to have to share with you here. Is you need to have your program be memorable in some way. Use a story that people just simply can't forget. Have a photo of something that's just in your mind and you think about it and you see it again and again. Somehow your program has to be memorable, or obviously they'll forget. And the most important thing is you want them to engage with your program in such a way that they want to carry it forward. And so having it be memorable is kind of your main job. You need to put the tasks in place so they know which order to go in order to accomplish what we're going for. And then finally, we have the functionality. So the functionality then, I'm going to kind of move forward now. What I did in the first part here was I taught you how to make a HIIT session. That meant how to take any content and make it exciting and make it memorable, make it engaging, make it, they want to commit to doing it. They're going to go out and it's going to change their lives going forward as it relates to whatever topic you were training. Now, in this section, I just want to give you a few basics how to actually pre-record anything because this is the functionality now. Now, I hope that I have you sold and committed on the fact that you don't want to just sit in front of your camera and talk and don't make any animation. You know, here I am, there you are. This is the program. Take it or leave it. In our society today, I think forever, I mean, ever since stories began with the Bible stories, God loves story. He loves animation. He loves highs. He loves low. He loves, action and adventure. And so make your program be something that people will enjoy. Having said that, your program also has to include the functionality. So here's the functionality part of my program, how to actually do the recording. I'm going to go ahead and take my whole screen over. So if you have not yet done it, over at Streamyard, over at Udemy, there is a Streamyard course that I wrote for speakers that helps you understand how to use Streamyard to live stream anything. Now, the beauty of this is you can live stream it out to YouTube, out to Facebook, out to Twitter, out anywhere, or you can record it and have a recording of you doing a video. You can share PowerPoints like what I'm doing right now. You can have comments scrolling across. There's so many things you can do. And this whole program, it's 30 minutes of video training. And then when you're done, you'll know everything about Streamyard, basically, that there is to know. So I just encourage you to take this. If you are a member of Marnie.com, of the mentorship program at Marnie.com, you'll be able to just go ahead and get that for free. Just grab the link there at in the membership resource area. And if not, I think it's $29.99. Sometimes they just do sales, so you can just check on that going forward. All right, so once you are at Streamyard, you're going to go ahead and create a live stream. So this is the practicalities now of how to record anything. I usually just select only YouTube first. And the reason for that is some of them actually have date limits where you can't set them up far in advance. Stream, if you just do YouTube, you can set it up as far in advance as you want. And it's also not very difficult to do. So just click on YouTube and then start entering the content like your title, your description. You also want to be sure to include where they can get your freebie and also your other links. You can see Marnie.com here, but underneath have your other social links where they can connect with you. You can also put a longer bio under here. This is really valuable space, and wherever you post it out to, you're just going to start posting it to YouTube to create it, but you can post it out to LinkedIn or wherever. All of this content will show. So that's really valuable space that you have under there. So use that space wisely. Also, before we leave this screen, you want to be sure that down at the bottom there where it says privacy, you want to mark it to either public or unlisted. If you're doing it as a private video for people who are coming to your summit, or who are going to pay for it, do it unlisted. Private is very difficult to access, so try not to do it private unless you have a specific reason for that. And public means that anybody can see it. So it's going to go right out onto your YouTube channel and it's going to be available for everybody. I use unlisted a lot unless I'm doing my radio show. And it's kind of funny because what I do with my radio show is I do the TV part first. I do the live video like what I'm doing here, but I have a guest with me. I do that first out to all of my channels. And then after that, we edit that recording. We get rid of the video. We edit the recording for the radio show and it airs again on radio. So it's all very straightforward with StreamYard. It's very easy to use. Now, when you are participating in a summit, like one of my summits, we do require that you send us the links. So after you have that set up, you got it all set up and you saved that. Then you go over to the right-hand side of your broadcast. So you can see here broadcast. And then on the right-hand side, do you see next to Enter Studio, there's 3 little dots there. When you click on the 3 little dots, it'll open up some options. And one option is to view on YouTube. And when you go to that, it's going to give you the YouTube. You'll actually leave StreamYard. And at the top of the page, just where you see always HTTP, at the top of the page, you'll see youtube.com watch, and then there's an equal sign. And then that part right after the equal sign, all those digits, that's actually what we use at the summits. That's what we use to actually share your video out. So what's beautiful is we're driving traffic to your website. And at the same time, we're sharing your content, and you can also share it anytime, anywhere. But we do it in a system that allows our guests at the summit to totally get access to it and enjoy the program. So that's what we need for you for my summit, and most of the summit hosts that have you do your own will cover that there. All right, so as a recap, you want to have your programs be fun, engaging, practical, memorable, and functional. And this has been How to Pre-Record a Hit Session. I hope you'll take time. Meet me over at marnie.com. So fun to be here with you. God bless. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.